morning. How are you? Welcome. It's Kirsten Liebelt. It's good to see you. It's Tuesday. How's everybody doing? How's your week? How are you entering your week? Are you like, yay, we're already on Tuesday? Or are you like, it's only Tuesday? Which one are you? I'd like to know. Actually, it is absolutely, we are so excited because I was talking to my husband this morning. Now, if you don't know like where I live or anything, I'm in Minnesota. And I was talking to my husband this morning. We got up and we were doing some reading and stuff. And it's going to be like in the 40s in Minnesota for like a week. We get a week. Actually, this Saturday, Valentine's Day, it's going to be like 50. Oh man, did it say 55? It might have. Anyway, crazy pants. Welcome in. If you do not know who I am, my name is Kirsten Liebelt and I live in Minnesota. And for like 2 years, you guys, we have come on and we have talked about insulin resistance. And basically we have become this amazing community of women turning back our insulin resistance. And I love helping women 40 and over really get unstuck. It's that whole unstuck conversation. Because I feel like what happens is we slide into our 40s. We are insulin resistant. We do not know. Nobody's told us. Nobody's run the proper tests. We do not know. And we are like, what the heck is going on? Not only are all of my hormones like going upside down, which is true, and insulin is a hormone, so it can exacerbate the situation. But even more than that, it's the whole weight thing, you guys. It's the whole belly fat situation. And we're like, what is going on? So I like to come and just kind of help in this arena. I was raised by a type 2, insulin dependent dad who died at the age of 63. So this has been like my whole life. And I think I shared even recently maybe how, my whole upbringing was my dad being sick. A lot of hospital stays, a lot of emergency this and emergency that, all of the things. And then when I moved away in the 90s to the Black Hills of South Dakota, right before that I got married. And when I got married, I was just really excited that he was going to be able to walk me down the aisle. Good morning, sweet lady Patty. Good to see you. Who all is on here? Say hi. Tell me where you're coming in from. If you're on the replay, tell me you're on the replay. I'd like to know. And I was just so happy that he got to walk me down the aisle. But then my whole 20s, because he died when I was 30, was basically me flying back or coming home for emergency medical things. And then when I was 30, he was gone. So my whole premise of being so incredibly passionate, I went out to lunch with a business, a girl on my business team, and she on Saturday, and I was talking about how, isn't it interesting that after 2.5 years of doing, we do the free challenges in the Facebook group. I'm still as passionate. I'm probably even more passionate. I'm probably even more opinionated. Like, who thought that could have ever happened? But I think it's just because you can't believe that we're not told these simple things to turn our health around. Why do we as women feel like we are so unheard? Why do we feel like this is like this mountainous thing? It's crazy to me. It's just crazy. So let's take the mystery out of the mystery. Like, let's just stop all of that insanity. So today I actually want to talk to you about magnesium. And I want to do it from the perspective of insulin resistance, because I think that women don't know. And I feel like women, they might be taking magnesium, but they're probably taking the wrong one. And so I want to fix that for you so that you know what form of magnesium to take and why. Like, what a simple piece to add to a routine. So simple, that has these huge benefits. So, okay, I am going to start today. I actually thought about this. I'm going to actually show you guys, because y'all, a lot of you are like brand new to my universe. You don't even know who I am. And I thought I'm going to show you just a couple of, like, where did I start? Like, why is this even a thing? So when I was 50 years old, and my diagnosis was pre-diabetic. My size was 2X, and my belief that I could change anything was -10 on a scale of 1 to 100. I had never, ever successfully lost weight and kept it off in my entire life of ever. I was 50 years old, never. Like, that wasn't a thing. I think I even just assumed that dieting was like, you're just going to lose it and gain it back. I didn't even ever have an expectation that it was going to do anything other than that. I was very upside down in my hormones. And what I mean by that is, like, when I started in my mid 40s with the whole perimenopause thingamajigger, if you guys can think back like that, or some of you are actually in your 40s, the brain fog for me, it was the inability to multitask. And I've even had some of you say to me over the last few years, I thought I had like dementia. Like, I was scared because my brain was so not working. And I'm like, oh, these are simple things, you guys. I didn't know them either. So, hey, Sue, good to see you. Very, very good to see you. So, hold on. I have to stop talking for just a second so I can find my before pictures. Here we go. So when I was a 2X in size, this is what I looked like. Okay. I was, let's see, this was, I don't have the original date on this one because I cropped it. This is 10 years ago though. So I'm 61 now. So this is, can both of you guys see it at the same time? I think both of you can. Okay. So this is when I was a 2X in size at the beginning of my journey. Had never, ever in all of my life lost weight and kept it off. Ever. Including when I looked really thin for my dad's funeral. That didn't last. That didn't last at all. I lost weight as a senior in high school. And then I lost weight again, because then I did fine until I was married, sort of, because you're pretty motivated. Then I had babies, gained a lot of weight, gestational diabetic, all the things. Then when my dad died, I had lost a lot of weight again that year. And so for his funeral, I was a good size for me. And then I went into my 30s and I just started raising my babies and paying zero attention. And so that's where I was when I entered my 50s. I was a 2X in size and I was pretty much a hot mess express, because insulin, high insulin, which is a hormone, will turn upside down all your other hormones. So if you have questions around this conversation today, put them in the chat and we'll talk about it. Okay. We'll chat about anything that I talk about. You can ask questions about. So Susan, good morning. You're on Facebook today. That's awesome. Cheryl, how much give you a listen? How much? Hold on, Cheryl. Hold on. How much gave you list and kept off? Say it again. Say it again. Hi, Cheryl. Alonia, good to see you. It's been a while. You're interested in hearing about the magnesium. Sorry you haven't been in here lately. No problem, Alonia. That's what replays are for, right? You can either watch a replay or, people's lives get really, really busy. So basically, I started at a 2X. I've lost 3 sizes. 3 sizes in my 50s. I got rid of my scale for a very long time. And yesterday, I kind of went a little deeper yesterday into like my brain on this. Carrie, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. No, you're good, Cheryl. You're good. Hi, Carmel. Good to see you. Carmel is such a great encourager, and she's always sharing my content and like telling other people that they can do it. And I just think that's great, Carmel. You guys are an amazing group of women who, I think that we talk about no shame in this realm, and you guys really take that to heart. That you cannot heal a body in shame. You really do have to put away all of the things that maybe were a part of your brain a long, long time ago. So no, you're good, Cheryl. You're good. How much weight have I kept off? So I actually don't know my weight numbers because I put my size away. I mean, I know my weight number now, but I don't know where I was when I was so like whatever, but I was a 2X in size. So well over 200 pounds. Well over. Carrie, I thought I saw somebody else. I thought another Carrie. See how my mouth doesn't match the words that are in my brain. So anyway, so I've lost my 3 sizes, kept it off, and I'm continuing. And this is the deal, you guys. When you feel like you finally have the key to be able to actually keep off your weight, like, going from that 2X, now I'm a large. My bottom can be an extra large sometimes. I'm more of a pear shape. So my top can be large and then my bottom can be extra large. Depends on the brand. You guys know how all that goes. It's always very subjective, right? Good morning, Jody. Good to see you. Carmel says you are so worth it, and I really appreciate your daily support. Oh, Carmel, I'm going to put that up there because you are so sweet. Thank you, Carmel. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I really, really do. You know what? I feel like, you know what? Sometimes I think that we spend a lot of time in our life either not being heard or not just, I don't know. I lived inside of my head for so long that I think that when we start talking with each other, we just become fast friends. And I feel like that's kind of what happens. So thank you, Carmel. Okay, let's dive into Carrie. You're so nice. Thank you. I'm always on my journey, and even recently. So this is my little win right now that I'm doing, because I'm always on my own journey too. I'm always tweaking things because oy vey, right? Like they're just layers. There's just layers that come because of our head or whatever, or we get out of routine, we get out of habit. Like I go in and out of traveling, and that can throw you off. That can, you know, whatever, like you're just eating more than you would. Like even Super Bowl Sunday, it was like, you're just grazing. And I work hard not to graze, but then you're grazing. But anyway, one thing that I have been doing better about recently, and maybe you can tell me what you've been doing better about too, is I've been better about stopping eating earlier in the evening. And you know, this has been a struggle of mine because my schedule can get goofy. And I thought, okay, we have to just stop with that excuse. I mean, it's a fact, but I still have to work around it. And I have to be more mindful. So I'm stopping or eating earlier. And so I think I'm probably fasting longer by default, right? So there we go. Okay. Let's talk about magnesium. I love this conversation. I feel like this is really going to help you. It's such a simple thing. So these are like the unsexy benefits that nobody talks about, okay? That should have been the title of the live. Okay, so the magnesium conversation. This is like, let's be honest. I feel like the magnesium conversation is such a mess. It is such a mess. There's so much information out there. There's citrate and glycinate and oxide and threonate and sprays and powders and baths, and nobody explains what it actually is doing like inside of your body for you. For you, right? So women grab like usually the cheapest bottle and they'll take it for a week. Sometimes they'll just get diarrhea or nothing, and then they assume magnesium doesn't work. I mean, this is like a common scenario. Then basically magnesium is the truth that it's not failing women. Women are failed by how magnesium is explained. So we just have to have, it's just a couple of little tips and then you're on your way and it will be simplistic for you. This is not a mountainous, you have to be a rocket scientist to understand this. So the real reason why magnesium matters is this. Magnesium tells your body one of two things. It tells you you are safe, burn energy. Remember, we talked about that whole safety conversation yesterday. If your body feels like it can burn energy, like it can afford to burn that energy, it'll feel safe and it will burn. Or you are stressed, store fat. It's a big piece of this puzzle. And insulin resistance lives inside of the second message because your body's fighting for function. Remember, it's fighting for function. It's like, you know, it makes me think of that movie, You've Got Mail. Go to the mattresses. You know what I mean? I watched that recently. Why do some movies just never get old? Magnesium is required. This is where you have to really like perk up your ears. Just listen up for a second. Magnesium is actually required for insulin receptors to work. It's actually required, and we are so deficient. And a reason why, like, so remember last week I talked to you about how I went to a business conference, and inside of that business conference, we had an expert talking to us about micronutrients. And magnesium is a micronutrient. And why we are so deficient. And a lot of it is, and we've talked about this before, we have severe soil depletion. We run our crops without stopping. And even if you go back into biblical times, they knew to rest their crops ever so many years. Like I think it was every 7 years, they would rest their crop and plant nothing because they had to restore the minerals. But in our high industrial society, instead, what we do is we just find a bunch of sprays, chemicals, to put on our food so that they can keep going without being like normal. And that's one of the reasons. Another reason is because we eat out of season. So we're eating very low quality food, very low nutritionally dense food. And then the other one that he mentioned was when we eat beef, our beef are no longer eating the grass and they're no longer eating just the earth, so to speak, the plants. They're eating corn. They're eating corn, which does not have just no nutritional. It's only meant to fatten them up. This is why people go, why do we have to stop eating corn? Well, we use it to fatten our cows. What else do you need to know? It's turned into syrup for sugar, but they're not getting the minerals. So when we are like, we have to pay more, think about the stupidity of this. We have to pay more now to get a grass-fed, grass-finished cow, which is so dumb, but we're getting our minerals when we do that because they ate the minerals and we're eating the cow. Okay. All right. So now here we go. Magnesium is required for insulin receptors to work. Like everybody here should go, OMG. I haven't taken magnesium in years, or what if I'm taking the wrong magnesium, or maybe I need to take more magnesium. I don't even know. Like you have to have a thought about this, right? It allows glucose to move into your cells instead of floating in the blood. It's a big piece of the puzzle. It stabilizes ATP, which is your energy. It lowers your cortisol. And that's me, right? Yeah. It calms inflammation. Without enough magnesium, insulin will shout at you and your cells, they're already not listening. Remember, your pancreas is releasing insulin to go and get your sugar, your food, your fuel that you ate and take it into the cell. And your cell is going, la, 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 la. I'm not listening. The door is closed. And that's what's happening in your body. And therefore, it's a fat storing hormone. So, Mary, nice to meet you. You did not know. Very cool. Karen, I'm totally going to share that. I do have a magnesium that I take. And when you're stressed, more likely to eat foods that need to be stored. Oh my gosh. It's so true. When you're stressed, when you're not getting enough sleep, your insulin resistance is higher the next day. You're craving your carbs because your body's going energy, energy. Mm-hmm. Elonia, you're darling. I said it was an unsexy conversation or whatever the unsexy benefits. She said, Elonia said, it's sexy to me. That's awesome. So very cool. Okay, so hold on. Let me go. Type. What time? Oh, yes. Let's go through all of them. So magnesium improves insulin sensitivity without trying harder. It quietly reduces cortisol belly. It fixes energy at the cellular level. It improves blood pressure, heart function. Protein helps protein to actually do its job. And most of them are like really poorly absorbed and they only help constipation. So the form that possibly you're running out and getting is citrate. And if you're grabbing a citrate off the shelf and maybe you're starting it only for a week or so, that's probably why you just have diarrhea. So magnesium citrate, that could help you if you're constipated. So put that little under your hat, that information of that particular form, right? You definitely want to know that, because that could help for anybody who's constipated. However, when you have different forms, hold on, I'm looking for my chart. Give me my chart. Let's see here. Let me grab that. Okay. So these are the different types that you can grab. Mine that I take has 3 in it with an olive leaf extract. Anybody, whatever. Well, I can always send you a direct link to exactly what I use if that's what you want. I had to source for a while. I had to source my own blend because I didn't want just a singular magnesium form for myself. I wanted a blend to do multiple things at the same time. So we had a magnesium, it went away. I sourced another one. I gave that to you guys for about 2 years. And then they came up with this triple blend. I really was not sure, but I do love it. I've used it now for 2 years. So that's kind of my timeline. And it has triple blend, etc. These are the types though. A bisglycinate calms your nervous system and improves insulin sensitivity. It supports sleep and muscle relaxation. This is why I take my magnesium at night. Okay. So I take it before bed, like an hour before bed when I take my ashwagandha. Okay. So that's best for insulin resistance, stress, cortisol, belly, and poor sleep. The bisglycinate is in my triple blend. Okay. Malate, it boosts ATP and cellular energy. It supports your glucose metabolism. So important, you guys. So it's best for fatigue, metabolic sluggishness, and post-workout exhaustion. Okay, that's number 2 in my particular blend. Hydroxide, this is the third one that's in my blend. And then I'll tell you the other ones too, though, so that you can see what you've got in your cupboard. Supports stomach acid and mineral balance, gentle GI support. It's best for poor digestion, low stomach acid, and nutrient absorption. So the bisglycinate, the malate, and the hydroxide, those are the 3 that are in my blend, okay? These are other forms that you might encounter or run into. Citrate, that draws water into your stool. So this is why it's helping with constipation, okay? Oxide, just a straight oxide, is a temporary bowel movement support, okay? L-threonate is the one that crosses the blood-brain barrier. That's brain fog and memory. Then there's taurate, which supports heart rhythm, cardiovascular support. Then there's chloride. That's oftentimes for like sprays and baths. That's a muscle relaxation. And then there's sulfate, like the Epsom salts that you take a bath in. That's muscle soreness and detox for stress and pain relief. So the one that I'm using is very blended to help with, let's go back, your anxiety. Now, I'm not saying anything cures anything, okay? So don't get that wrong. But nervous system, calming your nervous system, your anxiousness, improving your insulin sensitivity, supporting your sleep and your muscle relaxation, boosting your cellular energy and supporting your glucose metabolism, and supporting your stomach acid and mineral balance, gentle GI support. That's the triple blend that I take. But did you hear any of those forms that you have in your cupboard? Did you hear any of those forms that you have been taking and maybe you've been wondering whether or not they're even doing anything for you? I would love to know. Most of the time, when somebody sends me a picture in my DMs of the magnesium that they're taking, it's usually a citrate kind of something maybe that they got at the drugstore. And that really, again, that's good for constipation, but it's not good for when we're talking about the conversation of insulin sensitivity. That's not the most helpful information, right? That's not what you're trying to do. And so that's why that can be so frustrating. But most store magnesium that you buy in the store is either poorly absorbed, it only helps constipation, or it doesn't reach the cells that need it the most. That's just kind of how that goes. Citrate, the laxative effect, it's not metabolic. When it's helping you with your constipation, it's not helping you with your metabolic conversation. It's not helping you with that glucose piece or the insulin sensitivity piece, right? Single form magnesium can be a very incomplete support. So if you go and you have only one magnesium form, it's just not well-rounded. And again, the deficiencies, I was just reading, what was it that let me see here. I'm going to find it. On my Instagram, I recently posted up in my stories. Here's my archive. About the different, here it is. Nearly 95% of Americans, this is Dr. Josh Axe, have at least one type of nutrient deficiency. So 94% don't meet the daily requirement for vitamin D. And remember, for those of you that are already taking the vitamin D that I take off my site, that's sourced from mushrooms, that is equally as inexpensive as a synthetic vitamin D. But think about the truth. 94% are deficient in vitamin D. What are we doing? How is that possible, right? 90% for potassium and choline. Choline is in eggs. I eat a lot of eggs. 86% deficient for vitamin E, 66% for vitamin K. That would be in the D3K2, just to tell you. 52% of us are deficient in magnesium. 52%. And 40% for calcium. It's harder than ever, he says, to get all of the nutrients we need from food alone. That's why targeted supplementation can be a real game changer. And again, that's Dr. Axe. 52% of us are deficient in magnesium. Isn't that crazy? I just think that's nuts. That is crazy. So the one that I use, Tracy, is it has the blend of a bisglycinate, a malate, and a hydroxide. So, and then it has an olive leaf extract for the heart. So, oopsie. That's the one that I have. If you want me to send you the link when I get off, I can do that. I still need to set up my bots, but I can do that. I'll just send you a link for the magnesium. It has been such a helper for me because I use it because the bisglycinate helps with calming your anxiousness and your cortisol and helps you with like your insulin sensitivity. The malate, what was it? The malate. I just want to make sure that I don't say them wrong because I sometimes will turn them around. The malate is helping you with your cellular energy, but it's supporting your glucose metabolism. And then the hydroxide is supporting your stomach acid and mineral balance, and it has gentle GI support. But when I take that at night with the ashwagandha, this is for me, and this might not be for you. Not everybody's the same. The magnesium is for everybody for sure. But when it comes to sleep, you might need either the ashwagandha. I have 3 different things for sleep. And so I always tell people, if you have high cortisol with your magnesium, grab the ashwagandha. If you have just a hard time closing off your mind to go to sleep, I don't have a hard time doing that. Get the sleep health. Those are the stinky herbs. And then if you are like your circadian rhythm is off completely, like you work a night shift or whatever, your hours are flipped in your head, use the melatonin gummy, the Sweet Dreams sleep gummy. I don't do melatonin very well. I can't handle my melatonin. It makes me feel drunk, you guys. It makes me feel foggy. I don't like waking up foggy. I just don't like it. Like I've worked really hard to have a clear mind. I was super foggy in my 40s, talking about insulin resistance and being in your 40s. I had such brain fog that now I really cherish having mental clarity. So I don't do melatonin. But the magnesium, taking that before bed, it's almost like you have this whole cellular renewal going on while you're sleeping. And that's a part of that, really helping the glucose metabolism, really helping the insulin sensitivity, really helping your sleep to calm down, your nervous system to calm down, helping your sleep to actually kind of move forward. So many of us are not sleeping. And remember, I told you that we're going to do a sleep clinic. I have to decide. It's going to be at my, so a girl on my business team, she has a hair salon, and we're going to do a sleep clinic for her clientele. And I'm going to videotape it somehow. I just am not sure yet. It's going to be on the 21st, on Saturday, the 21st. Just kind of put that in your hat. I'll get you some details. We have to flesh it out a little bit. But people, when you are not sleeping, I just feel like if I can help you understand coming at your insulin resistance from another perspective, like if it's from your sleep or from your anxiety, You don't have to tell me, but I would love to know, like if you, in your head, if you raise your hand in your head saying, I'm kind of an anxious person. I'm kind of a nervous Nelly. And I don't even want you to declare that on yourself, but you just recognize that you have anxious tendencies and that maybe you just feel like there's not this balance. And when you start to take magnesium, you can really support that balance. It does. It makes it feel really good. Cheryl, I will absolutely send you stuff. You bet. Shannon, good to see you. Marla, you're fine. Mary, I'll send that to you. Shannon, you drink 2 ounces of sour cherry juice as it helps your body make its own melatonin. I've heard that. I've never done it, but I've heard that, Shannon. Walmart sells it, and it's real juice and not made from concentrate. Is that super high in sugar or carbs? Because I don't actually know, Shannon. You drink it's organic. Luana, I am definitely a nervous Nelly. LOL, she says. I know. Well, and I kept thinking that. Me too. It helps so much. Good, Carrie. Yeah, I know. It really does. When I kind of like in my 40s, because I'm 61 now, right? In my 40s, when my brain fog was really kind of off the charts, and I wasn't really able to multitask very well, I noticed that anxiety really starting to bubble up from underneath the surface. And I think that I didn't like that for sure, but I wasn't really paying that close of attention, but it was just there and it was bugging me. But it's when that kind of the depression kind of starts to hit a little bit, because I had such severe postpartum with my first baby. He was a very big baby. He was 9-13. I had a traumatized bladder, blah, blah, blah. I had lots of stuff. I lost a lot of blood, etc. So I went home and my postpartum with him was really intense. So I feel like when I felt that depression kind of poke back at my walls again, that's when I kind of noticed that anxiety was there. And I'm like, I didn't know what to do about it. I just noticed that it was there. So this is how I then started on my personal journey with adaptogenic herbs, because I needed enough mental clarity. I needed enough ability to multitask. And adaptogenic herbs, like the one that I have in my line, it's a rhodiola blend. I take ashwagandha. I do take holy basil. That is an adaptogenic herb, but that actually really helps you with your upper respiratory. It's a zinc and holy basil for somebody who, like if you're working on your immune system, that's a really good one. But there are a lot of adaptogenic herbs, and they help your body adapt to stress. And so when you recognize that maybe you need to come down a couple notches, maybe that's just me, but when you recognize that, then you're like, okay. And so I wasn't even putting it all together when I was 59, that a part of my sleep issues were cortisol related. Like I wasn't even processing that. So when I began to mix the two for me, and again, if you don't have high cortisol, this might not be for you. The magnesium, again, it's for everybody. Every single one of you would benefit from the magnesium that I'm talking about, because it's helping with the insulin sensitivity. It's helping with the glucose support. It's helping with bringing down your nervous system. And these are all things that have to happen in order to lose fat, in order to lose weight. You have to have certain things in place. And what a simple answer, right? But I mixed mine with my ashwagandha. And dealing with my own, like Luana says, I'm a nervous Nelly, that helped me. And again, not everybody feels that way. Not everybody feels that nervousness. But I questioned for many years, I wonder if I'm just like my mom, right? And think about how she would have benefited from magnesium, the proper magnesium. There's no question. If I close my eyes and I go into the cupboard of that little Rambler that she lived in for 50 years, and I open up that kitchen cupboard, she has magnesium citrate in there. for constipation. But she doesn't have magnesium like I take magnesium. She just didn't have that information. You know what I mean? Oh, Marla, I will share the zinc and holy basil for upper respiratory help. I absolutely will. Amazing. Really amazing. And zinc is like the general contractor for your immune system. Like zinc is, and so for me, I start taking zinc and holy basil probably in October. And I take 2 every single night. This is just something that I do for me. I do it for immunity. And also, I'm not interested in any upper respiratory schnuff. None of that stuff. Years and years and years ago, and it hasn't been true for a long time, probably since I started really turning back my own, because I was diagnosed pre-diabetic in my early 50s. I'm now the only person in my immediate family to have avoided type 2 diabetes, even though my dad died at 63. And I was gestational with my first baby. So I should have been, I poster child right here for you will be type 2 diabetic. And I wasn't. So when I started to turn that around a little over 10 years ago, I one little tiny, and I do mean tiny, step at a time. I traded out my ingredients. I traded out my foods. I started to supplement. I'd never supplemented before. I did all of this stuff I talked to you guys about. This was not me. Instead of me and talking to you about supplementation, I would have been telling you how amazing it is to go to the theater and buy theater buttered popcorn and eat it with a big thing of Milk Duds at the same time. That's what I would have talked to you about. I am the opposite. It just goes to show you can change your ways. You really can. But when I started to get healthier and healthier, I stopped having as many upper respiratory issues. But years ago, I used to get bronchitis constantly. And so I feel like, and I'm so glad that I've done certain things that I did before the little, pandemic thing happened, because I was already kind of mindful of supplementation, but with the holy basil, even more so. The second so the world shut down in March, April of 2020. By September, they released the zinc and holy basil. They were on it. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. You don't know if this is pertaining to magnesium, but for the past 2 weeks, you have been waking up feeling very warm. So do you think your hormones are kind of out of whack, Patty? Are you flushing? Or are you just warm, the temperature in your room isn't really well controlled and you need a fan? Or are you you're waking up because you're having a flush? I would love to know that, because I don't have hot flashes, but sleeping warm does not work for me. My husband and I may or may not fight about that. And I don't mean fight. I just mean he's always so cold and I'm always oh my gosh, turn on the fan. And I'm not even having a hot flash. I just run warm. I'm Italian. What can I say? I'm hot-blooded. Luana says, Marla, mullein is good for, is it mullein or mullein? Mullein is good for respiratory ailments. I've heard that too, Luana. Could it be your thyroid? Could be. That's interesting, Patty. That's very interesting. It could be. But remember that your thyroid hormones, and again, see, these are the pieces that are sometimes a little bit more assessment needed, because depending upon the medications that somebody is on, depending upon, whether or not they have other things that are working against them, any kind of a diagnosis or whatever. There are so many pieces to people's puzzles. Your room is cool, no heat. Okay, good to know. It could be, though. That's very interesting. So you must be hypothyroid, right? You're hypo. And your thyroid hormones are converted in your liver. This is why we talk about the liver all the time. Liver. I'm telling you, it matters. Marla says, thank you, Luana. You guys are so awesome to each other. The only sugars in the cherry juice is what naturally occurs in the sour cherries. The bottle is a 32-ounce size. There are 22 grams of natural sugar in this, in the whole bottle or in a serving. Because cherries can be high in sugar is my whole point. I'm taking just 2 ounces after dinner, so I'm getting very little cherry sugar in those 2 ounces, but it really makes a difference in your sleeping. Yep, hypothyroid, Patty, yep. Marla says her thyroid labs are great. That's awesome. I love it when you guys share your labs, your changing of your labs, because like I've always said to you, you know, when I talk to you guys about the total body reset, I'm excited for you to lose weight. Listen, as when I was my 2X in size, I can show you my pictures. When I was a 2X in size, the only thing that I wanted was to not be a 2X in size. Let's just be realistic. It's literally the only thing that I wanted, because I just was, I was bribed to lose weight probably at 11 years old. And my whole life had been spent being overweight, except for just those couple of different times. It wasn't that many, but there were a couple of different times that I had lost weight. But being that 2X in size, that's me on well, it's me both sides, but that's that 2X. And I so resonate with people who are like, I just want to be able to finally feel normal. I want to finally feel like I can just go shopping and not, and I still don't even know that, you know, it depends on, shopping is still hard for me, but I think that shopping is hard for me, or it has been harder for me now, because I don't think I ever paused when you're a 2X, let me see here. When you're a 2X like this, you're just wearing clothes that fit in general, right? And I know what that feels like. And so when you try to then buy clothes that fit you, I just said to my girlfriend the other day, she reminded me that, because I literally was like, at one point, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a pear. I'm a pear. That means I need to dress like I'm a pear. Like that helped me. I'm 61 now, but I was 60. I'm like, I'm a pear. And she just laughed at me. And I'm like, I haven't figured these things out my entire life, because I've been overweight like 94.6% of my adult life. I've been overweight. I have never, ever, ever, ever lost weight and kept it off. So for me to lose my 3 sizes and keep it off, it's like, what's happening? What kind of, sorcery is this? Well, it's just literally the understanding of when you can get your liver supported, and when you can get your insulin down, and you can get your internal systems functioning, your body will rise up and deliver you a different result. But the hardest piece of all of it is that everybody's scenario is different. That's the hardest piece, because there's no way that any two of you have the same history of surgeries and exact food eating, or binging or not binging, or prescriptions or no prescriptions, or trauma or no trauma, or sleeping or not sleeping, or anxiety or no anxiety, or depression or no depression, or there's no way that there are two of you that are the same. And so the hardest part is to give yourself permission for the journey and actually begin to assess and tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak until you get your life dialed in. Like I've been able to dial in, just as an example, my sleep. I'm like, game on. Now, when I go to a business conference, like I just did, a weekend ago, I get less sleep, but I know I'm coming home and I'm going to sleep again. I'm not concerned about it because I just know now my whole routine is a little better. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay. Marla, that's so great. I battle Hashimoto's, which is autoimmune. Yep. Attacked your thyroid gland. You used to have 9 nodules, not malignant, and they are now gone. And I don't want them back. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. So anyway, we're right-siding ships, right? So your ship is different than somebody else's ship. So you use magnesium glycinate, plus it's added to your vitamin D and your synachrome. Okay, yep. 2X. You've tried many diets. You have type 2 diabetes and underactive thyroid, Hashimoto. I just happened to see you. Hi, Deanna. Hi, Deanna. You'd like more information on magnesium supplements. I'll totally send you that. You guys are awesome. Okay, so let me show you the total body reset. The magnesium that I take is actually a triple blend. If you want me to, I'll jump off and I will send you. Never mind. You don't need to know about my technology and lack thereof sometimes. I'm filtering myself as I speak. Can you tell? I will send you either that or I can jump off and put it on my website too. Hold on. I'll send you a direct link when I get off. I'll go into my Facebook and I'll put that in there. Okay. Now, when it comes to literally dealing with your insulin resistance and turning that back around, when you all are talking to me about wanting to get off of meds, etc., I know that whole 2X in size. I know you didn't come for this, Deanna, but give me just 3 minutes. And I'm going to show you what the total body reset is and see if it resonates with you. And then I'll show you how to, like, if you want like more, you want to see me do a 9-minute video on it, I'll show you how to get that, okay? But when I was a 2X in size and I was a total sugar addict and I was scared where my numbers were. Now, this is before I actually got the diagnosis. I already knew, but I didn't have the labs yet. And so I was scared because my dad died of type 2 diabetes and I'm Italian and there was a lot of type 2 and obesity in my family. So that whole world for me was very like, here I am, I'm like going to be 50 years old and I'm like, this is not good. My mom is really on me about my sugars. So my sugar addiction and my I just ate whatever I wanted, right? And I didn't know how to change any of that. I didn't have any knowledge. The stuff that I talk to you guys about now, it's like, you couldn't have told me that this is what we would be doing, that we would be sitting around having a cup of coffee, talking about insulin resistance. Like, this is the furthest thing. But it really ticks me off that we're not told by the medical community. Like I always talk about the poster on the wall in the waiting room. Why does the poster on the wall in the waiting room probably talk to you about, if anything, pharmaceuticals instead of something like, did you know that if you have a sluggish liver or high insulin, you can't burn fat? That's what I want the poster to say. So when I started with supplementation, I started with basic, just super basic, because I didn't know how to change out my food. So I'm like, I'll just do a few things and see if I can't like pretend that it's going to work. Right. And then sure enough, the pre-diabetes diagnosis came. But so this is where I started as a pre-diabetic, and I'm the only person in my family now to have completely avoided it, turned it back around, whatever, and lost my 3 sizes. So insulin, sugars, liver, and metabolism. Okay. This very simple supplementation that's super specific for insulin resistance. That's half of the total body reset. The other half are actually powders. Okay. So this is a greens based product. This is a gut primer. So for people who are like, I'm constipated or I have diarrhea, or I just know that my digestion is totally off. High inflammation in your gut because of high insulin, by the way, leaking nutrients because of high insulin, by the way. This is why we're so deficient in simple things. But this is kind of a done for you product. And what I mean by that is the greens are already fermented. The spices are alkaline. They already put in there for you. You don't have to dose out a prebiotic, a postbiotic, a digestive enzyme. It's all there for you. So I take 1 little scoop every morning and I put it in cold water. Here's my little glass from this morning, about this much. And I take it like a wellness shot. Some of you are using more water and sipping it. It's very green tea. It's very earthy. It's earthy. Turmeric, ginger, it's all organic farming and all the good stuff. But I'm going to tell you, the testimonies that have come from just this one product alone have been huge, because I have people who have short gut syndrome, where there's been a lot of diarrhea. I have people who have been living in their 70s, living on laxative products, trying to not be constipated all the time. But when you can get your flow in your body, move your toxic waste, you can absorb your nutrients, you can absorb your supplementation, and it makes a difference. So this is the 4th item in the total body reset. That's 4. 5 is the probiotic. This is 5 live strains. Nobody is confused that we have to repopulate our microbiome. I mean, in fact, the guy who came, the guy who talked about, he's the professional, talking about he's the expert. He was talking about, did you know that if you have a lot of antacid, it's not because you have too little acid in your stomach, or because you have too much acid in your stomach. You actually have too little acid in your stomach. He's like, y'all need just a really good probiotic in your system. So my total body system, probiotic. This is all stuff I've sourced for me. Nobody else put this together. This is me just sharing with my friends. So probiotic, 5 live strains on your tongue. And then the last one is the orange pixie stick. Dang, this is a good one. I grabbed this one out of the sports nutrition line. It tastes like orange candy. I put it on my tongue. And what it does is it targets your visceral fat. We all have visceral fat. Like it's just almost a given. Like I know I can't make like broad statements, but it's just the chances are just so high because it's all connected with insulin resistance. And when your insulin cannot get that fuel into your cell, it's going to store it as fat because it's a fat storing hormone. And that fat is around your trunk. It's here. It's this fat. It's around your organs and your intestines and inside of your organ. I mean, it's dangerous fat. So this is coming at it from 6 different perspectives to help the whole thing. But I will tell you, I come with receipts when it comes to the testimonies of you guys, the testimonies that you have sent me over and over and over again. Because if we didn't have these testimonies to share with other people, I just think that people wouldn't even believe the results that you guys are getting. So I teach food ingredient trade outs inside of the group, ditch insulin resistance for women. And then I teach the targeted supplementation so that basically you can target the systems that are giving you the biggest issues: your liver, your gut, and your insulin, high insulin. Those are the things that are really bugging you. Donna, I will absolutely send that to you. 2X, hold on. You're a 2X underactive thyroid since you were 20. You're on Synthroid since then. Yeah, I know, Teresa. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that they've done this to us, right? Like, I wish I could change that. Underactive thyroid, your thyroid hormones are converted in your gut, in your liver. Goodness gracious, in your liver. So supporting your liver, I don't know if anybody paid attention. Oftentimes, because I go so fast and I know that. You can go to my site and watch a 9-minute video and I'll show you how to do that here. It'll make it easier for people. But this is for your liver, this is for your liver, and this is for your liver. Okay, so half is for your liver. So total body reset, 90 days. After 90 days, she lost 20 pounds. These are all that came to me, okay? Because this is my universe, right? So I'm just telling you, like I did this for me and now I share it with you. After 90 days of doing the total body reset, she lost 20 pounds. She lost 3 inches off her bust, 2 inches off her waist, and 2.5 inches off her hips. Okay, that's 1. Under 60 days, so let's just say 60 days, She lost 22 pounds. She's sleeping better. Her clothes fit more comfortably, and she's enjoying taking care of herself. 90 days. A1C 6.5 down to a 5.1, lost 16 pounds. Because when you have high insulin, you cannot burn fat. When you have a sluggish liver, you cannot burn fat. There was no way on God's green earth, in my opinion, about myself, that I was ever going to lose 1 pound. It just wasn't going to happen. I had been overweight my entire life. Being a 2X was my norm. I wasn't the lady who all of a sudden gained weight. My weight went, my dad died when I was 30. If 30 is here and 50 is here, like there, my weight went like this from 30 to 50. I wasn't the person I was thin all my life, and then I hit my 40s and all of a sudden I was overweight. That wasn't me. I was just on this freight train of weight gain. It had nowhere to stop. That wasn't going to be me. So had I not come across some of the information that I've come across, like with Maria Emmerich, where it's like, what do you mean if your liver is sluggish, you can't burn fat? What are you talking about? How can this possibly be true? And no doctor is telling us this. How is this true? That was me. Dr. Berg, like him, yep, is right with you, Kirsten, on how important the liver health is. It's just huge. And us girls, listen, we can stop the insanity of the programs that are out there. It's like you don't have to join another freaking pre-packaged, processed food thing that you think, oh, okay, I'm probably going to lose weight, but I just hope that I can actually keep it off this time. And I probably won't because I never do. Like, that's BS. We've got, like, all that stuff has to go away. Just go away. No. Keys to wellness. Whole root cause wellness. Keys to root cause wellness. Turn around. Go the other direction. Turn around. Go the other direction. Like forever. Like, take the key and run. Take the key. Get off the freight train. Jody says, I know. Telling you. Shannon, you really like the green powder. It seems like you feel more even. Okay. You feel more even. You have a damaged gut, and so you want to take this to help you heal. Yep. I'm telling you. This is like such, I will have to take a picture because you know what? If you're on Instagram, look at me. Now I'm going to be all technological. Hold on just a second. If you are on Instagram and you want information on the total body reset that I just went over, put TBR or total body reset in the comments, and my little bot helper person, which is, doesn't make sense, but my little bot helper will just send you information like right away. I'm trying to make it easier for you guys. Had I understood how to set it up for today, girlfriends, I would have had it do magnesium, okay? But instead, I'm just going to go do it myself when I get off. Just telling you. So let me just give you a couple of more testimonies. This is the one that I love the most. I shouldn't say that. I love them all. But she's just been with me for a long time now, and she started with food. She was being diligent before she found my content, and she listened in on just exactly what we're doing here. She's like, I'm going to try that total body reset thing. And remember, if you are a registered customer, if you've heard me talk about this at all, if you are a registered customer and you don't check out as a guest, you can rinse and repeat getting $75 off every third month. And that's just nothing to shake a stick at. When we have these wellness journeys where everything is so driven, all of the advice that comes from the medical community is driven by pharma, right? It's driven by making you aware of another med or how to increase the dose of a med. And nobody talks to us about wellness, root cause wellness. Nobody. We have to do this on our own. We're by ourselves out here doing it on our own. But I must say, you're doing a very good job. Like, we all gather, and I'm like so impressed. We all find a lot of the same third-party resources. We're doing a really good job. Just saying. I've avoided meds. I'm 61. But She found the total body reset, which is what I just talked to you guys about, these 6 pieces. And she started to do that. And here she is now, the culmination of about a year and a half for her. Okay. And she's still with me today. She might even be stalking. You never know. I love her so much. But this is what she said. Hi, Jackie. Good to see you. Teresa, I will get you that information. I'm 63 years old and started this journey in March of 2024 by changing out my foods. I then found you, Kirsten, and learned about the targeted supplementation total body reset, plus a few others. She probably takes my magnesium, ashwagandha, vitamin D. I don't know. I have a lot of choices because it's a whole line. Here are some of my achievements. I've lost 13 and a half inches from chest to hips and a total of 50 pounds. I went from a size 1X to a size medium. I was diagnosed as diabetic and medication was recommended, but I chose this path instead. My A1C went from a 6.7. This is where labs matter. These are receipts, people. These are the receipts that matter because you're buying back your future. You're investing in where you will be 3, 4, 5 years from now. And you are either going to be managing more meds and more appointments on your calendar, or you're going to be free from things. Just according to your choices, I'm not making claims. Her A1C went from a 6.7 to a 5.4. And with the support of my rheumatologist, I was able to get off medication for fibromyalgia. I now weigh less than I did over 30 years ago. But the best part is I've kept it off for over a year now. I feel so good about myself and I feel free from the control food had over me for so long. I still enjoy eating the right foods for insulin resistance because I always talk about you can still be a foodie. You just have to change out your ingredients. But it's so satisfying to be in control and give my body what it needs. So the takeaway from that, and she sent that to me in November. The takeaway from that, and she's still with me, is if you will give yourself permission for the journey, if you will stop requiring your body to fix itself in 2 weeks, fix itself in 2 months, that's not what she did. But her results of consistency, and listen, nobody hangs out with me probably more than Terry sometimes. She has done 20 free challenges in a row. 20. That is a commitment to her own journey. She doesn't even probably need to do them anymore, right? But she just decided she was going to wrap her brain around it and immerse herself into the change that she needed to have for her own body, right? And so now I've watched her 1 year ago in March, they launched that customer campaign where you get $75 off every 3 months. She's done it over and over and over and over because she's like, she's going to cash in. And it makes me very happy because it's an opportunity to be able to kind of let go of a lot of the thought processes that we've maybe had in the past of programs that were not created for somebody else's body. They weren't created for us who are insulin resistant. You know, counting points, that's not created for an insulin resistant person. Prepackaged processed food, doling you out a little bit of a bar, a bag, or a barcode every so many hours was not created. And if it was, that's really a bad formula, just in my opinion. I like what Dr. Ben Bickman says. He says, no bags, no barcodes, no, what does he say? No boxes, no bags, and no barcodes, real food. So I do a little bit because I do have a protein powder. I mean, it's not like I'm perfect. I'm not perfect, but my protein powder is super clean. So I don't even apologize for it. But I'm just saying, like, for the most part, we've become so on the other side of eating everything that's prepackaged and pre-done for us and is in such bad form. It's like, oh, terrible, terrible, terrible. And now we have to go back. We have to go back. It's kind of like we step into insulin resistant land. Like I stepped into pre-diabetic land. And I looked around and I went, oh, heck no. I am not doing this. I was right around, I started to really pay attention like at 50. And so here I am in my early 50s and I'm like, oh no, my dad took his 50s and he did meds just like this. And they increased and they increased and they increased and they increased like crazy. And his health went like this. 50s, you guys, it's so young, right? Come on, if you're in your 50s, if you're in your 40s, life has only just begun. Like we're empty nesters. We think that we're going to feel good. We're going to hit 50 and we're actually going to feel good finally. And we're going to be able to go do things that we wanted to do. And he took his 50s and his health went like this, just crashed into 63 and he was gone. And it was just a fight for function all the way. He would wake up in the morning. He was a business owner in Minneapolis. And he would wake up in the morning and he would take all of his meds and he would shoot himself full of insulin. And then his body would try so hard to function. But he wasn't even safe to get on the roads to drive to his business. He owned businesses. He had to wait until like noon. That was his life in his 50s. Yuck. And I went, oh no. I entered that land and I went, I'll be leaving now. Hold on just a second. And I'm like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. Oopsie. Oh man, I just moved my table. Hold on, move you back. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I have no idea how I'm going to fix this. I just am. I'm just going to do something. And that's when I started to do supplementation. And then I was like, okay, I'll start reading some information. I'll start changing out some ingredients. And I am telling you, like your best friend ever. Like grab your cup of coffee and pretend we're across the table. According to many, many, many third-party resources, this is turnaroundable. This is reversible. It was never meant to be a terminal diagnosis. Ever. Being here really jogs my brain to make healthy choices. Your education style is 100. Alone, you're amazing and makes so much sense. You've helped me so much. It's a lifelong thing. I'll be here more often because I fall off of it when you get too busy. Oh, Alonia, welcome. Just, stick around the fire. But that's what Terry did, right? Jackie. Oh, Jackie's got a testimony. You guys hold on. No longer experiencing heartburn, indigestion since taking the gut primer. I've had more than one customer get off of omeprazole. Those are flags. This is not normal. Somebody needs to come along and go, it's not, they have tried so hard. Do you know that, I'm just going to tell you this. Do you know that the labs that I had that showed that I was pre-diabetic, it was never mentioned to me by my doctor in that session at all? It was not. So what happens is we come with, they're like, well, if you're not on 2 to 3 meds in your 50s, you're not normal. BS. If you don't have indigestion, if you don't have whatever, this is all crap. We should not have indigestion. We should not be constipated. We should not have diarrhea. We should not be exhausted. We should not be filled with fatigue. Your body should be functioning really well in your 50s, your 60s. We can be building muscle. Like right now, that's kind of one of my goals. I'm 61. I should have started at 51, but okay, I just can't live in regret. But I need to build muscle. Muscle equals longevity, right? Okay, so those were some of the, I have so many testimonies. If you guys just even knew how many testimonies I have in my camera, how many testimonies I have from you guys, I can just pick them up. Susan, I think it was Susan. I'm starting my second month. This is a little bit ago because now what was last month? I'm starting my second month and feeling better than I have in a long time. And I'm down a size and I can't thank you enough. I just constantly, I have people that have gotten, their anxiety has gone away. The bloating is much better. The food cravings have gone down, especially for sweets. She was a sweet addict also. I have a couple that are husband and wife, and they're doing it together. They have such amazing stuff. This one is, I'm filtering myself because I don't want to say names. Thank you. So this is the last one, and then I'll just tell you where to find stuff. Thank you so much. Okay, whatever. Thank you, whatever. I sent her a note. Both my husband and I are really liking the total body reset. We are starting our 3rd week. I lost 8.5 pounds. My husband 6.5. Hold on, because I'm going to tell you her age. Hold on. I did take my initial measurements, but haven't remeasured. Figured I'd wait for the 1 month mark. I am no longer bloating. I'm sleeping better. I have more energy. I no longer have any sugar cravings. My husband is experiencing similar results as well. Thank you for the encouragement. She's 68. Don't tell me this is about age. That's what should be on the poster in the waiting room. This isn't about your age, girlfriend. We lied to you. This is about insulin is a hormone, and it's a fat storing hormone. And if you will get your liver to function, and if you will get your, oh man, I just dropped it. If you will get your liver to function, if you will get your insulin down, if you will get your gut going, like your body will produce for you a different result. Anyway, let me just explain some stuff so we can wrap up. Unless you have questions. If somebody has questions, I will stay. If not, I'm just going to show you guys where to go. Sad to say if they tell you he or she is not making money off of you. I know, Shannon. Debbie, you made it to alive. That's awesome. Very good. Your older sister is doing that increase and just doesn't listen to me, even though she knows I've been to nutrition school. She really suffers. I know. And it's challenging. And I've recently have come across several people who have had siblings pass away. Oh man, a couple, they're coming to my head right now. This is literally within the last few weeks that one actually just passed locally. And is somebody who had a sister that passed with obesity and complications a year ago. And it has really, no, not a year ago, about a month ago, but I think it was around Thanksgiving, couple months. And it just so impacted her because she's young. She's young. And it's like, when things like that happen to us, all of a sudden we're kind of like, I need to figure out how to protect my own health. You know, I didn't start my journey going, okay, well, I'm going to turn around my prediabetes. I'm going to be like some health person. That's not what it was. I'm going to be honest. I knew that I had to do something and I was scared. But what really bugged me a lot was my back fat. That's what really bugged me. Was you feel like you're liquefying. Come on, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. But I'm like, it gets worse. How can this get worse? I'm already at 2x. But that's what happens. And so it's like, you know, again, even that expert that I was talking to you about, he said, you're not overweight, you're under muscled. You need muscle on your body because your muscle will soak up glucose. So maybe that's another challenge that I'll do. So I'm getting better now about not eating late at night. Now, when I'm doing my squats and stuff, maybe I need to be telling you how many squats I'm doing a day or whatever, because like your legs, your quads, that's your biggest muscle group in your body. So if you can do things, you know, for your body to build muscle with resistance bands and whatever, then you're going to soak up more glucose. So there you go. All right. Let's just wrap up. Again, if somebody has a question, that's great. But if you don't, so the total body reset, many of you have already put it in the comments. If you are on Instagram, you can put total body reset or TBR, and these 6 pieces you'll get the information, including my story and including a 9-minute video of me explaining this much better than I do here when I'm live with you, because I know I'm faster. So if you need that detailed explanation, that's what you can do. You can also put that in the comments here on Facebook, whichever Facebook you're on. I've got 2 of them. And I will come afterwards and I will put that in there for you. But if you go to my site, which is kirstenliebelt.com, this is my site for people on Instagram if you want to just see more or whatever. And when you're looking at the total body reset and it's in the cart, all 6 of those products, listen, go up to the search bar. First of all, be a registered customer. That's first of all. There's a little person icon. Click on that and register with your name. You don't want to miss out on free shipping. You don't want to miss out on getting $75 off every third month. You don't want to miss out on whatever. You just don't. Like, be a registered customer. Don't check out as a guest. But in the search bar, search magnesium, search vitamin D, search holy basil, zinc and holy basil. I mean, I'll send things to people all day long. I'm so happy to do that. But if you're somebody who's like, a lot of people don't want to just be in conversation. They just want to go jump and look at something. So I respect that, right? But my website, kirstenliebelt.com, that's my picture. It's right there on the window for Facebook and YouTube right there. But you'll see my face. And then that second button right there is the total body reset right there. And right on there, you'll see this little YouTube video that I put together. It's 9 minutes. Okay. But you'll see like my story. You'll see all the things. And I know you can't see it because of the light. I have to go like this so you can see the print. You can see it over there on Instagram. Facebook, it's still too bright. Still too bright. But on my page, you can see my face. There's total body reset. I do have some Amazon things there for you. We talked about books yesterday, free resources, all of my connection right there. All of my, how do you get a hold of me? How do you get into my Facebook group? It's right down here. It's all there. So nothing should be like a mystery. I'm not trying to like make anything hard for anybody, right? So that's how that goes. And then that's how that goes. So on Instagram, my little bot thing will show you the information so you can see things for yourself. I hope that makes sense. But it's just always so fun to chat with you guys. It's so fun to like get together and find out how it's going for you. And just understand that if you've been kind of looking a little bit, or in your spirit, you're like, I need kind of a path. I need kind of a direction. Every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central, put it in your phone. Like put a message in your phone or an alarm on your phone. We're here live Monday through Friday. Okay. Every now and then I might be traveling, or, it's a holiday, but otherwise Monday through Friday, we've done this for 2 years, so that you have daily encouragement. And so many of you, when you give me your testimonies, you say to me, thank you for the daily encouragement. Alonia just said, this is where I'm able to stay on track. I go off track if I'm not around this kind of encouragement. Then monthly, okay, so we've got daily, now we've got monthly, and the monthly is inside of the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And that's, you just put in your email, tell them Kirsten sent you. We will do a free 5-day challenge every single month, because every month you can start to recalibrate one ingredient at a time, one recipe at a time. The foods that you have in your fridge, the foods that you have in your pantry, etc. Right? That's the monthly encouragement. And then if you think in terms of doing 90-day sets of the total body reset, do 90-day sets where you can assess what's going on with your body. Okay. 90 days. Everything has a 180-day guarantee. So it's like, you're only halfway to your guarantee. Like, nobody else is doing that. So the risk is literally zero. But the point being, if you will give yourself permission for the journey and be like, okay, fine. I'm going to start now in February. That's going to take me to March, and then April, and then May. So if today is February 10th, let's say you get your product, I'm just going to make this up, by the 16th. So let's just say March 16th, April 16th, May 16th. You're halfway through May, okay? And that's your first 90 days. How is your bloating? How is your gut? How is your waist? Did you measure under your boob, your waist, and your hips? Did you do that? How is your blood pressure? How is your sleep? How is your anxiety? How is your constipation? All of these things start to come together. But when you do that as a registered customer, you're going to do February, March, April, and in April, you're going to get that $75 off. And then you can do another round. I hope that makes sense for people. That's the way that I wanted to do things when it comes to a wellness journey. I already know I can't submit things to an HSA. I can't code things to an insurance company. And I worked with a naturopath who was so good. She taught me so many amazing things. But we know that if you, and there are some of you that do need more. Okay. So I know my role. I know my role. I just didn't. I didn't need intensive testing, and I didn't need overly priced supplementation because it was in a clinic and there was a proprietary opportunity in a clinic. I'm just telling you, like, I know the system really well because I lived it within it. And so this is just an opportunity outside of the matrix for the people who already know that they don't want to put down maybe thousands of dollars for testing if you don't think you need it. Some of you do. That's your own conversation, because some of you have deeper hormonal needs, etc. But it just wasn't me. I was the person who was able to be like, I started taking adaptogenic herbs in my 40s, didn't even know they were helping my body balance my hormones. I didn't even know. I was just doing it because I had a lot of like brain fog, which was from my insulin resistance, but I didn't know it. I had a lot of like inability to multitask, which again, I just thought I was a little crazy. I was concerned. But they ended up balancing out my hormones, and I never ended up having a hot flash because I figured it all out and I put it all together. That's not everybody, and I know that. But there have to be more people like me. There just have to be. I can't be the only one. So that's why I just am like, I'm that in-between person. I'm in between the naturopath office that has a lot of nutraceuticals and a lot of testing and a lot of cash outlay, and the person who is running a supplement store who is maybe in their 20s and they don't know anything, especially about insulin resistance and female bodies. Maybe they're in their 30s and they're a bodybuilder. That's not me. But I do know, just from my own experience, having turned around my insulin resistance, being the only person in my immediate family to have avoided type 2, losing those 3 sizes and keeping them off. This wasn't magic, and it wasn't a prepackaged program that had a lot of like pretty little bows and cool commercials on TV. And there's literally no celebrity. I'm the celebrity. Okay, that's kind of funny. I've never said that before. There is no celebrity talking to you about the total body reset, because this is just what I did. I put it together. I sourced it for you. It's kind of like period. There's no celebrity involved. There's no commercial during the Super Bowl or anywhere else. This is just me. It's just me understanding, going, oh my gosh, I did this deep dive and I've studied and I've studied and I've studied liver and gut and insulin and liver and gut and insulin and visceral fat. And oh my gosh. And this is why my body it's what my body needed help with to function. Dang. Okay. Game on. I can do this. I can rinse and repeat this. I can rinse and repeat this until I'm the size that I want to be, or until I'm like to stave off. This is for me now, right? To stave off medications, to stave off, like I am 60, 61. I've only just begun. I have freaking only just begun. Like, I'm going to put on muscle now. I'm going to make sure that I have more energy for my kids. My oldest grandson just turned 5. Oh my gosh, he's 5. How did this happen? Like, it's going so fast, right? And I'm like, when he's 10, oh my gosh, I have to be in better shape when he's 10. This is where I am in my brain. And it might not be anybody else, but for you, there's something inside of you that says, I have to make a difference now, because what's coming needs me. My future tomorrow needs me. My grandbabies, they need Nona to be strong and to have energy, and to not be like, oh, I can't do that because I'm going to another doctor's appointment, or I'm going to take this medication. It's going to make me tired, or I can't travel. You know, it's harder to travel with you because like my ankles are so swollen. I've lived through that too. I'd get to the hotel and I'd put my feet up against the wall and I'd lay in bed like, oh, please, Lord, let my ankles drain so I can enjoy the weekend. Like, I've done all of it. I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. And so you guys know I have my little vibration plate and my little infrared, and I've got my little squat machine. I'm like my own little alternative thought process over here in my home, because I'm like, I'm going to do my 60s at a whole nother level. Whatever I did in my 50s, I'm going to go to another level. And I know that you guys hang out because you want to do that too. So do it with me. Do it with me. So we are all bio-individual. You are so right. Yes. You're welcome, Sue. Jackie's giving me a heart. Okay, you guys, have the best day ever on the face of the planet. If you need any information about the total body reset, you're like, I'm going to not sabotage myself, I need help today, you can put total body reset or TBR if you're on Instagram. Everybody else, you can put that, and then I will come and send you information. But you can always reach out to me and I will help you. So I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central. And you guys had a lot of good questions today. See you tomorrow. And if you need that magnesium too, my triple blend magnesium, 2 years now I've been using it. 2 years. It's phenomenal. All right. See you later.